Austin, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but there are neighbors shouting outside of the foster parents' home right now. Tensions are pretty high. According to neighbors, there was a police presence here around 9 p.m. They were told that they were digging in the backyard of the foster parents' home. This comes to us as there is a new memorial outside the home in honor of the two missing boys.
It's been, 4 days? It's going on 4 days. Tomorrow is Christmas.
The Cal City community is still distraught over the two missing boys. There is now a new addition to the neighborhood. This is a small memorial, leaving candles and toys, hoping the toddlers come home safely.
All have to get together as a community and just try to help find these children ourselves and do the best we can.
Orrin and Orson West have been missing since Monday night as search efforts continue Thursday. According to neighbors, police arrived at the foster parents' house Wednesday night. They also say that Cal City police, along with the FBI, started digging in the backyard, which caught the attention of Wayne Leonard.
Lots of noise like jackhammering or roto hammering, like they were trying to dig through dirt or break concrete.
The adoptive parents gave their account of what happened on Wednesday, claiming that the two boys went outside to play with chalk while their adoptive mother wrapped their Christmas presents. Their adoptive father said that he left the gate open. When he realized the boys were gone, he began searching for them. The adoptive parents declined an interview Thursday, saying police advised them to stay inside, leaving some to wonder why.
I would be nonstop looking if it was my child. You wouldn't even keep me inside.
Despite search efforts that haven't turned up anything, neighbors are still trying to think positive during a dark time in this small community.
Hopefully, they'll find the children alive for Christmas.
It's been a week since 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Orrin West were reported missing.
It's one thing when you see these stories on TV and they're happening somewhere else, and you repost the pictures, you repost the memes and everything, but when it happens right down the street, it hits a little bit different.
Residents in California City continue to drive by their house looking for answers.
We're looking for something to do. Look, some way that we could step up and do something with the community. And right now, the only thing that we can do is give gifts because they weren't able to get gifts on Christmas.
The adoptive parents of the two little boys say they reported them missing last Monday, just before 6 p.m. But what happened before has the community worried.
They are going to be here in this area.
Trezell and Jacqueline West are the adoptive parents of the missing boys. Trezell says at around 5 p.m., the boys were playing on their back porch. He says Jacqueline was inside wrapping presents while he went out the back gate to gather wood for a fire.
I came in the house, I saw them there. I went in the house, I came back out. I didn't see him there.
Trezell says he and his wife searched inside the house and around the backyard. He then drove around the neighborhood calling their names and talking to neighbors, but saw nothing.
So then I came home and I told my wife we need to call the cops. It's getting dark and I need help. We gotta get going.
California City Police and dozens of locals searched the area for the kids on Monday night and all day Tuesday. The biological mother of the two boys came from Bakersfield on Wednesday to help with the search.
And I just had to be here because my babies are supposed to be missing from this house, so I just need to be right here, right now.
Neighbors say Bakersfield police and the FBI are involved in the investigation. Police got a warrant to search the house and have been in and out with bags of evidence. They even dug up the backyard on Wednesday night.
For some kids to come up missing, it's terrifying. So that's pretty much where I'm at. Yes, frustrated, and I'm afraid for my babies.
Dozens of residents organized a vigil on Saturday to pray for the safe return of the boys. The mayor and a couple of local police officers also came to show their support.
Everybody's concerned. I mean, almost everybody I run into, that's the first thing they say, have you heard anything about those babies?
Police say Trezell and Jacqueline West have been cooperative. They went in willingly for questioning last week and have stayed out of the house while police investigate. They have 4 other kids. 2 are biological and 2 are adopted. They told me all 4 have been taken into protective custody by authorities.
And that's all I want is to find my babies.
That the community here, a lot of neighbors told me that the parents have been virtually absent from all search efforts, raising a lot of concern out here in California City. But the adoptive parents told me that's because they've been busy with the police investigation, and that police told them that they don't need to be out there searching because there's already an adequate amount of people doing so.
I came in the house, I saw them there. I went in the house, I came back out. I didn't see him now.
Trezell West details the moment his two adopted boys, 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Oren, went missing Monday night from their California City home. Moments before, West says he was gathering wood to start a fire.
I opened up the back gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that our youngest two would go outside and play with chalk on the back patio.
Shortly after, West says he no longer saw the boys on the patio. He asked his wife, Jacqueline, if she saw them. She said no. That's when he says panic set in.
I realized that I left the gate open, and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out, I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold.
West said he then called the police within minutes. Since then, California City Police, the FBI, and the Kern County Sheriff's Office have been investigating. Police searched the couple's home Tuesday night, then interviewed the couple at police headquarters. Meantime, multiple search efforts were launched, which continued Wednesday, including with the help of the boys' biological mother, Ryan Dean. She says she's worked hard to get her life on track and wanted to get custody of her boys back eventually, but now she thinks that will never happen and is blaming the adoptive parents.
They did something. I feel like they did something and they know something. They did something, and I feel my kids is somewhere around here. I can feel it, and I feel like they're in the house, and I feel like they did something.
Trezell and Jacqueline say they understand the frustration. He thinks you guys did something.
And that's understandable.
What's your response to that?
That's understandable. I would think the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly the point. And if we can find our babies, then guess what? That's no. And that's all I want is to find our babies. That's it.
Some residents and family members of the boys would also get involved during the interview.
Y'all was supposed to take care of my nephew.
But the Wests are standing firm as the search efforts continue.
We're going through it. It's difficult. I mean, everybody's making their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything. We're not sure everything. We're not sure. We said what we knew.
My name is John Walker. I'm the Chief of Police of the California City Police Department.
And John is spelled?
Jon, no H.
What do we got today, Chief?
I can only give you a recap of what we've been doing since the 21st of December. Just to give you a recap, as you all know, the 21st of December, we got a call to this location about 5:45 p.m. We were notified that there was 2 missing children, Oren and Orson, both 4 and 3 years old. There was an extensive search of the neighborhood, which produced nothing. We've done several interviews since then. We've had several agencies involved. We've been working nonstop on this thing since the 21st of December till today. As we're still working, we've been working around the clock. We have several agencies involved, like I said, and we're doing our best to locate the kids. So that's all we've got at this time. There are things in the works, but I don't want to taint or compromise the investigation at this time.
How many agencies are working with you on this case?
I would say at this time 4.
We've noticed Bakersfield Police Department cars up here as well, and I understand they've taken some video from some neighbors' homes. How much are they involved in this investigation?
At this point, just peripheral. They're helping us out.
And the FBI?
The same.
Okay. It's been more than a week now since the boys disappeared. It's cold up here. This is desert. In your gut, do you feel these boys are still alive?
I can't comment on that, whether I think they're alive or not. I do suspect foul play. We haven't been able to put together, how the boys got out of the yard or where they've gone.
Chief,
but we're doing our
Attorney
best.
General's website, they have the 2 boys missing.
Yes, sir.
On Oren West, they've got it listed him as a
Fractured leg.
A fractured lower left leg as a identifying mark, and that's on Oren West, listed as a fractured lower left leg. Were you aware about that?
No.
Do you believe, any reason to believe that these 2 boys may have been physically abused by their adoptive parents?
I can't rule that out, but I can't comment on that either.
Okay, but there was no knowledge before that Oren West had a fractured lower left
Not to
leg?
my knowledge, no.
Okay. Well, knowing that, what does that tell you, if anything?
I can't comment on that either. I mean, fractured leg can happen, especially with small children, any way possible. I mean, they fall down a lot. So, but I can't.
Why do you suspect foul play in this case?
We have no way of knowing how they got out of the yard. Nothing that shows how they got out of the yard, and if they wandered out of the yard, we don't know.
What message do you have for the community about, how committed they've been to trying to find these two boys and how to maintain, how to stay resolute during this time when we still don't know much of anything?
We absolutely appreciate everything from the community. I don't know if you know that first night, there was literally hundreds of people out here looking for them, and we truly appreciate that. I think this whole community is invested in this thing. My department is invested in this thing to the point where, we don't want to give up. We want to locate them any way we possibly can. We're accepting any information that you could possibly give us, any tips. We're following up on everything.
Sir,
yes, sir.
On that note, we've had people ask, should they still look for the boys? It's cold. People have been looking in the night. Should the community still look
I would never tell anybody to stop, but if they have anything that they could give us, we'll definitely take it. Where
are the parents at this time?
I don't know. I know that I don't know exactly where they are. No.
Did police advise them to get out of the house, or because
no.
there was a search warrant?
No.
Are they in the house? You don't know?
No.
So, if you guys needed to contact the parents, do you guys have the availability to do that? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are the parents named suspects in this case?
Not at this time.
Chief, as you know,
there are no named suspects at this time.
While it's possible that the boys could have been picked up by a complete stranger,
absolutely.
Isn't it true that in these types of cases, the majority of times, some family member or somebody known to the family is involved in abducting children?
In my experience, it's been very common, yes.
That it's usually a family member?
It could be, yes.
Do you have any of the other 4 kids in custody right now? Are they in police custody?
Oh, the other 4 kids are in protective custody right now, yes.
And have you questioned them at all?
I can't comment on that right now.
Do you know how old they are? Could you tell us?
I don't want to comment on that either.
Average age?
Just going back to the day these kids were reported missing, just to confirm, that was Monday night, correct?
Monday night, 21st of December.
And who reported them missing?
The parents.
Okay. You guys mentioned that there was a lot of folks left from the backyard. We noticed a lot of tools were used in the backyard. Can you talk about some of the work, what you guys were trying to reveal back there?
We're just trying to dig up anything, any clues that we can possibly find to find out where they had gone, and also to confirm that they're not in the backyard.
How extensive was the digging in the backyard?
Fairly extensive.
Anything useful turn up?
No.
What message do you have for anyone? I feel like someone out there knows something more that might help you guys move forward in this. What message do you have for someone who knows?
I definitely believe people know. Someone knows, and I would hope that person would come forward. I mean, we got 2 young, in my opinion, babies that we don't know where they're at, and we can't find them. So if that person or any of those people have any idea where these kids are, or can give us any information that we could follow up, it would be truly appreciated.
It's been over a week. At what point does this become a cold case? Is there still a lot that needs to be?
Oh yeah, it's not even close to becoming a cold case. It's an active investigation. It's going on right now, as we speak. I guarantee you.
What are the steps moving forward for your guys and the other agencies involved?
Just to continue to evaluate all the evidence involved and interview anybody that we think is a person of interest and gather as much intel as we possibly can until we come to a conclusion.
Do you think you're going to go back in the house at any point? You have that search warrant still, right?
It's absolutely possible, yes.
Okay.
What about the biological parents in Bakersfield? Have they been cooperative in this investigation?
For the most part, yes. Yes.
California City has the 3rd largest land area in the entire state.
That is correct.
There's a lot of ground to cover, sprawling desert. Have you guys started combing through the desert yet?
No, we have no reason unless we have any other tips that they could possibly be out in the desert. It's been my experience, especially with small children, you always start from the inside out. You start from where were they seen last. And if we feel that we have enough information and enough evidence to expand out, we absolutely will. But at this point, we have no reason to believe that.
The adoptive father told us that he wished he could go to every house, knock on the door, see if their kids are inside. from a law enforcement perspective, when you say you want to start from where the kids were last seen, how many neighbors have you guys contacted here, and is it difficult to be able to search inside anywhere like that?
But we've contacted just about everybody in this neighborhood, and you know, we've talked to everybody in the neighborhood. Just our goal is to basically locate the kids. So if I come to your door and I knock on, hey, have you seen these kids? You know, and then we move to the next, and we move to the next, and we move to the next. Unless we have any other information that leads us to the point where we can actually enter their home and look for a child, we can't do that.
So it'll be accurate to say, and I apologize if I'm reiterating this, from every neighbor you guys spoke to, not a single sight of them?
No. No.
When was the most recent that a neighbor cited they've seen the kids?
None of the neighbors have seen the kids.
Ever?
No.
At what point did you guys decide to bring out dogs to try to help out in this investigation?
Done that. It's been done multiple times.
And the canines consistently found that the scent of the children did not leave the house?
Correct.
Just to break that down a little bit, piggybacking off of Perla's thing, when you guys use dogs to search for missing people, if their scent was just even a bit outside of the home, would they actually follow that scent?
Generally, yes. But it all depends on the dog as well. You know, it could be the wind blowing, it could be the dog can't pick up the scent, it could be a lot of things going on, but that's the general idea. That's the hope.
Could you explain how police were able to get a warrant inside the house and retain custody over the rest of the 4 kids? Even 2 of them are biological.
Oh, that's the fact that the kids are missing. That's the easy part. You know, obtaining the warrant was easy. I mean, we do every warrant search.
You're allowed enough evidence is the kids were missing, and you were able.
That
to
is
get
correct.
custody
When you have
over the other 4.
correct.
Chief, could you clarify though why the kids were put in protective custody from the parents here?
Anytime anything happens in a household where it involves any kids, all the kids are taken out of the household.
Now we noticed DPD here in California City. We've noticed FBI, and we've noticed that several cars have been parked. Law enforcement, undercover vehicles have been parked near here, around several streets. Why is that? Can you explain anything?
Oh, we definitely just we want to keep an eye on the area, and again, if we ever get any evidence the kids could be anywhere in this neighborhood, and also just to keep an eye on the house and see who comes and goes.
Has there been a human trafficking issue in Cal City or recent cases?
Not that I'm aware of.
And sorry, I just want to go ahead, Perla.
Did the luminol find anything?
Not that I know of.
I just want to piggyback off of a recent question here. When you say whenever there's a situation involving kids, the other children go into protective custody?
Normally, yes.
Well, from my understanding, like, you know, we have a lot of missing, you know, persons cases in Bakersfield, and when a parent reports their child missing, the other kids aren't taken away from them. So what circumstances have to be in play in order for the other children of the household to be in protective custody rather than the custody of their parents?
Well, generally, to take if there's any kind of a juvenile situation where there's been any kind of neglect or any kind of harm to any of the children, we automatically have to take all the other kids out of the house until there's an investigation done by Child Protective Services.
You're saying that based off of that there have been other types of abuses.
No, I'm not saying there was abuse at all. I'm saying the kids are missing, and we can't put that together. So until we determine one way or the other what happened to the children, the other 4 children are taken out of the home. Now the parents can try to go to Children's Services and get the children back, but that's totally up to Children's Services.
Chief, if somebody wants to come forward with information but they're afraid to come forward publicly, how can they do so anonymously and contact you?
They can call our station, leave a number, leave information, whatever they want to do, and we'll get back to them.
Can't you guys trace a phone number? I mean, if somebody really says, look, I don't want to get involved, but here's information you should know. Is there any way they can contact you with being totally anonymous?
Call the station. That's all I can say. That's all I would hope.
Where else are police and agencies searching? Or where are they currently searching? Or do they believe that they're still...
I can't comment on that right now.
Okay.
Can you say if you're searching in Bakersfield?
I can't comment on that right now.
real quick, how about words for the community? Because obviously there are a lot of signs out on the major roadway that are asking where are these boys at.
Of course.
So what are your words to the people that are asking that same question and asking these same questions that we are asking you?
Well, my answer to that is that's my question as well. I want to find these kids as much as anybody else, and so whatever information and we're actively at it. I mean, around the clock. We haven't given up on this thing. We want to keep on it as diligently as we can, because we know the clock's ticking, and we really need to find them. So my answer to those people would be, I want to find them as bad as you do, and if you have any information, please come forward and give it to us, and we'll follow up.
Chief, you're not a very large police department here, a small police department.
We're very small.
In the city. How is this case, what impact has it had on your resources?
Huge. I got people that are on their days off coming in. I got people that are supposed to be working days that, I was putting 19, 20 hours in last week myself. So my guys, they're working tirelessly on this thing and not complaining, because they want to find these kids as bad as everyone else.
Do you have any reason to believe that the kids are still inside the house?
No.
Even though the canines didn't smell their scent?
No, and I've been in the house multiple times.
And Mr. Walker, just talking about the different agencies helping out, part of it is because to help with manpower, correct?
Correct.
If you could talk about general assignments, the FBI, what aspect of it are they looking at? What aspect is KCSO looking at? Do you guys have those kind of designations on who does what?
Well, basically, all the bigger agencies, they have all the other resources like the crime labs and that sort of thing. So they're really helping us out with that, analyzing any evidence we have and any clues that we can come up with. So that's a real big help for us.
Para Telemundo, ¿gusta decir algo en español? Lo que sea, nada más para la gente que esté escuchando, porque hay gente hispana que vive aquí en California City.
Sí.
¿Qué mensaje le tiene usted a la persona, a la comunidad hispana, para ayudar a encontrar a estos dos niños?
My Spanish is really bad, but yo quiero mucho ayudar, por favor. Dígame, por favor. Llámame, por favor.
Para encontrar a los niños.
Sí, por favor.
¿Piensa usted que los niños están vivos? ¿Piensa usted, do you believe that the kids are still alive?
I want to believe that, yes.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people have been wondering about what constitutes an Amber Alert and why one
Generally,
wasn't sent out.
An Amber Alert, the way I understand it, to the best of my knowledge and my experience, would be if we have a known person who has taken the child and we have a vehicle information about that vehicle, so we put that out for all the drivers and all the commuters to be on the lookout for that vehicle and that license plate number, so in fact we can recover the child. We don't have any of that information at this time.
I also want to confirm one thing just to make sure we're putting out the most accurate info. You said that since this couple has been here, that there was never a sighting of the children?
Not that we know of. They've only been here since September.
Okay. Was there a sighting of the parents' other children?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
No.
Can we ask a question as a community? What
Sure.
do you want us to do? Because I heard you say you guys aren't going to go to the desert. Do you want us to do?
If whatever you feel that you want to do in that aspect is more than it's welcome. Whatever, I'm not going to close any doors. Whatever's open, I'm willing to take. And if you can come up with any clues, any information that we can follow up on, we most happily will.
Okay, thank you. We just wanted, because we heard you say earlier, you guys weren't going out there, but there's so many of us still willing to.
And that's fine.
We know it's vast. We know
Right.
you guys only have a certain number of people.
Right,
so
and
we're still willing to help.
Yes, ma'am, and I appreciate it. But our resources, we have to concentrate on where we saw them last, and if something leads us to expand our search, we absolutely will.
Thank you.
And I'm
Ask about the parent van.
I'm sorry.
Somebody yesterday informed me they spotted a vehicle that looked identical to the parent's van coming back from the direction of Silver Saddle on Sunday, the day before the boys were reported missing.
I can tell you that's not possible.
I heard the same thing.
Let me dispel that right now. That's not possible.
Are there any other rumors?
Can you say that again, Chief? What's not possible again?
That the van was seen somewhere out near Silver Saddle yesterday.
No, it was seen the Sunday before they were reported.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we can follow up on that. Sure.
Yeah, we reported
Thanks.
it, and I've never heard that.
Okay.
Don't
Well,
you think you should comb the desert, like, you know, go out like in spurs where everybody goes in the same direction and look for those kids?
sure, that's a possibility.
I think that's a good possibility.
But right now we're not going to spend the resources on that right now. We're concentrating on right here.
Chief, there's obviously a lot of information out there. Are there any main rumors that you want people to just stop spreading? Is there anything else you could dispel?
Main rumors, rumors are rumors, and the people are going to say what they're going to say. But just so they know that we haven't given up on this thing, and we are working still diligently to try to find these kids.
And I'm being asked to ask this question as well. In the last decade, there have been several unsolved either missing persons cases or homicide cases. As a police chief, what trend have you noticed here that contributes to that? What do people have to think about when they say, well...
Well, I need you to be more specific. What are you referring to?
Well, we did a story with the police chief at the time, Mr. Hurtado, back in 2019, and we talked about the $25,000 rewards that you guys now have for multiple unsolved cases.
Yeah. Yes, but right now I have a full-time crime analyst that's working on any cold cases that we have. But any city that you have is going to have cold cases. It's just the larger the city, more cases you're going to have. Right now we're holding 8 cases. And again, I have a crime analyst who works full-time on that. And
what has he shared with you? Because you said the bigger the city, the more cases there's going to be.
Well,
in the last decade, this is a population of about 14,000. I think 2,500 of them are counting the prison population. So what do you think contributes to this sort of crime here, the missing persons, the homicides? What are factors that come into play there?
Again, I think we only have 1 missing person at this time, and the other are unsolved homicides. But we're a small city, you're right. And we've only had 8 at this time. So if I was in a city of, say, Los Angeles of 4.5 million people, they're probably carrying a couple hundred cold cases right now. So, you know, like this year alone, we've had no homicides at all. So it's just a matter of population and crime.
One more question from me. Did the parents deny to take a lie detector test?
I can't comment on that.
And would you be able to provide us the 911 call that they made initially?
Can I provide it?
Yeah, the recording of it. I'm sure police have all the recordings of...
I'd have to look into that right now with our investigators and see if they want to release that at this point.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Sorry, last question for me.
It's under the authorities, or the foster...
We have it in custody.
Sorry, Chief, last question for me. Can you confirm, since the beginning of this incident from last week, that there has been nobody detained or arrested during this entire investigation?
There's no one been arrested.
Has anyone been detained?
Well, people have been questioned.
Okay.
Formally detained, no.
And not held in custody upon their own will?
No.
This was the scene in California City just before 3 this afternoon, where police and federal agents forced their way into the home where the boys lived with their adoptive parents and 4 brothers and sisters, leaving a few hours later with items from the home.
Yes, Eitan, police just left the home with certain items of evidence. The chief of police told me that they are going to go back to Bakersfield to be analyzed by police there. But this is the same search warrant that California City Police served last Wednesday night. So they're just going back into the house again to get more items of evidence to be investigated. Now, this happened just hours after the chief of police, John Walker, told us that he suspects foul play and that he confirmed the 4 other children of these adoptive parents are in protective custody. The adoptive parents of 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Orrin West reported them missing just before 6 p.m. last Monday. He says he doesn't know exactly where the adoptive parents are, but they aren't in their house. Police still have their white van and are in contact with them.
I definitely believe people know. Someone knows. And I would hope that person would come forward. I mean, we got 2 young, in my opinion, babies that we don't know where they're at and we can't find them.
He says the biological family has been cooperative in the investigation. He would not clarify where police have searched so far and says the department doesn't have the resources to send search teams into the desert.
3 and 4-year-olds Oren and Orson West were reported missing around 5 p.m. yesterday, and a search warrant was served at their foster parents' house today in Cal City, and the foster parents are still at police headquarters answering questions. Cal City police say the parents are being cooperative, and law enforcement is not giving up on finding the toddlers. Police also say investigators are doing forensic exams on some of the items that were taken out of the home today. A search team gathered near the home today and spent hours looking for the kids, and the community says that they are scared, confused, and angry. And so is the biological mother of the boys, Ryan Dean.
They've been missing since 5 p.m. yesterday, which is, I don't understand. I don't understand.
Dean says that imagining her boys are gone is a nightmare. She says that she misses them every day and is heartbroken that she isn't in their lives. Dean hopes her children are okay and that she will be able to soon see them again.
If they find my kids, can they just give them back to me? Whatever I have to do to work on it, to get them. I have a home, I have a car, I have a job, I have money. It's nothing to provide for them. I come from a good background, as you can see, and I don't understand. I just want my babies. If they find them, just give them back to me, please. That's all I want. If they just find them, I just want my kids back to me. Whatever they want me to do, I'll do it again for my kids. I just hope they're okay.
Fortunate when any child is injured in our community or in any other community, but we are not able to predict the future for what anyone is going to do. So that's why we use the tools that we have at hand to try to determine the best outcomes for kids. I pray the best for those children that you're speaking about.
Spokesperson for the Kern County Department of Human Services, Janice Slagle, assures 23ABC that the vetting process for adoptive parents is not only lengthy, it is thorough. As of 2017, the state requires foster parents, aspiring adoptive parents, and relatives to all go under resource family approval. For foster parents, it can take up to 6 months to get approval. With the DHS, they have to go through 12 hours of training, background checks, a home inspection, fingerprinting, medical inspection by their physician, then a, quote, very detailed psychosocial assessment with a social worker.
So we ask them questions about how they were raised, any trauma in their past, and we just try to get a handle on who they are and why they want to adopt.
After they are adopted or in foster care homes, Slagle says the Child Protective Services check in on the families regularly. This is something they've still been able to carry on during the pandemic, either virtually or in person while following CDC guidelines.
I think it's made us even more diligent because we are just more careful during this time. So while it has changed everything that we do, we're still extremely diligent to make sure that we approve good foster parents and find good foster parents, and we do everything that we can because we really do care about these children in our system.
Slagle adds that the goal post foster care is family reunification. If the biological parent is deemed fit to take care of their child after 6 months of reforming their lives and the court's decision. Regular checkups would occur even after, if granted. If not, adoption is the next step.
Process can take, 18 months up to 2 years to finalize because biological parents are given a lot of chances to make those changes. So it's not a fast process.
Little boys. It's been 9 days since 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Oren West went missing in California City. Police have been in and out of the house where the boys lived with their adoptive parents and 4 siblings. Locals have searched the Mojave Desert every day looking for clues.
All of the community searching, we're posting flyers, we're talking to everyone. I work at a gas station in town. Everybody who comes in there, I'm asking questions. Out of towners writing, where are these boys? No one has any answers.
But as it started to get dark yesterday, some people lost their patience. One resident drove into the driveway of the West family's house and screwed a poster into their awning. A clear sign of the frustration felt by many of the city's 14,000 residents.
But since they've came up missing, I can't sleep. I can't.
None of us can sleep.
I can't get any peace. These are my boys. These are our boys. Our California City boys are missing, and we want to know where they're at.
About an hour later, another car drove to the front of the house and threw a large rock at the window. The impact broke the glass. Others also drove past and honked in front of the house.
I don't think this is the time to start getting rambunctious with the situation. We're supposed to come together and we're supposed to unite as one and find these kids.
Police say the adoptive parents haven't been inside their home since Christmas. Their 4 other children are in protective custody, but many residents thought the family returned last night.
People, they had good intentions behind it. Even though it was violent, they did have good intentions. They want to bring the parents out to talk. We need answers.
The city is still working on a reward for anyone who finds the boys. Meanwhile, a local marijuana dispensary says it's offering $10,000.
What stands out immediately is the fact that they haven't found these boys yet. It's been several days.
The search continues for 3-year-old Orson West and 4-year-old Orrin West, who were reported missing on December 21st.
Somebody knows something in every situation, and somebody has seen something.
Gary Caresco is a former Bakersfield Police Department lieutenant. He spent more than 20 years serving the department and has worked numerous missing persons incidents. He says the investigation into the Cal City boys case starts with the basics.
So obviously you want to know the immediate set of circumstances that led to them being missing or disappearing. You want to focus on those that know them the best, those that are closest to them, and then work your way out from there.
According to the children's adoptive parents, Trezelle West and Jacqueline West, the boys were playing with chalk in the backyard of their California City home when they suddenly disappeared.
They do not just roam around. These patches, they definitely would have been picked up or something.
According to Caresco, that may be one reason the FBI is assisting the California City Police Department and Kern County Sheriff's Office. He says no one is ruled completely out of the investigation, including the parents, who last spoke on Wednesday.
We see with the federal law enforcement agencies, they have people that are very well trained in reading a person's behavior, a person's body language, and then pulling out pertinent information about how that person is acting or reacting, or the lack of reaction.
Authorities searched the couple's home and vehicle and spoke to them more than once at Cal City Police headquarters. But Caresco says people shouldn't jump to conclusions and consider all possibilities, like whether there are any sex offenders or suspicious people in the area. According to the California Department of Justice website, Megan's Law, there are 14 convicted sex offenders within 2 miles of the missing boys' home, 2 of them less than a mile away.
There's a lot of factors that are working against the investigators in the community. So that's, again, the reason why so many resources are brought in immediately.
On Saturday, one search party found a Christmas present that had one of the boys' names on it. But 17 News found that was the same present a neighbor had dropped off in front of the adoptive parents' house last Monday, a week after the boys were reported missing. The search continued today, but this time in Bakersfield, around 70 miles west of California City.
Bakersfield, Kern County, period. When it comes to things like this, they come together, and we all try to help out in any way we can. We don't even know each other, but we're all here for the same reasons.
The adoptive parents only recently moved to California City. Residents say they lived in Bakersfield last year and worry the boys could have gone missing there.
I just feel, I hope they're alive and safe, but it's just been too long. And nobody's seen them since September in California City, where they supposedly live. It just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a good outcome.
Bakersfield street media organized today's search at the Casa Loma apartments near the municipal airport. They brought pizza and snacks for the dozens that showed up.
I care because I'm a mother, and it's been bothering me since day one. So I felt like, being a part of the community and stuff that, come out here and just help.
For a few hours, locals scanned the area. They combed through nearby fields, canals, and dump sites, notifying Bakersfield police of any notable discoveries.
Well, I adopted a kid out of the foster care system, and I can't even imagine him coming up missing, and I would want that support if my kid came up missing.
For nearly 4 hours, 200 people canvassed this desert area looking for the boys. Now, this area is only 2 minutes away from their home, and included in the search party was not only volunteers, but also law enforcement who say they're both trying to remain hopeful.
I have to remain hopeful. I just have to until something comes and tells us different. You know, I'd really like to think that they're absolutely still alive, and I just hope they're safe.
Saturday marks 12 days since 3- and 4-year-old Orrin and Orson West went missing after they were last seen by their adoptive parents in their backyard. Since then, the community and law enforcement have been on the case. On Saturday, they held a search party to comb through the desert located just beyond their home.
I just think that everybody's just hoping that they find something just to help them get a little bit closer to finding them babies, or hopefully find them today.
LeGrand Council is just one of the 200 volunteers who dedicated around 4 hours looking for any clues that could lead to the West boys' whereabouts. Some volunteers shared with 23 ABC that they walked nearly 5 miles canvassing the area. Amongst the group were the boys' biological mother, who did not wish to go on camera, but a close family friend says they aren't giving up.
It's horrible for a mother to have to do that. She's in so much pain. You guys would never understand it unless you have children yourself. You know the pain that she is enduring. We are going to keep searching. We're going to keep coming out here. We're going to go through every area there is out here to try to find our nephews.
Throughout the search, you could occasionally hear groups shouting and waving to law enforcement if they found something of interest. Although the boys have yet to be located and no arrests have been made or suspects named, this community says they will ensure the boys won't be overlooked.
We want to galvanize a community advisory board that would help and assist the police in keeping these boys' names active in the community and alive in the county so that they are not forgotten, and that we will continue to search and do whatever we have to do as a community, coming together so that we can find or assist whenever we can.
And keep the people motivated, keep it in people's minds.
Rick Jones and Amanda Adolph are the owners of a few local businesses in Cal City, including the Greenstow Cannabis Retail Store, which is offering a $10,000 reward to help find missing toddlers. And now their other company, Preferred Towing, is also offering $10,000. It's all in an effort to keep the community motivated in finding Orrin and Orson West.
I think it's always terrible that you have to offer money for people to do the right thing and step up. But we all know from history that sometimes that is what it is. And me and Amanda's goal is to find these kids one way or another.
A vigil outside the house has grown larger throughout the past 2 weeks as the community continues to stop by and leave a gift, light a candle, and pray for the boys.
I want the community to look at it as if it's their kids was missing.
Dion Harris and Janae Scott have stopped by the house almost every day since the boys were reported missing. And for Janae, this situation hits close to home as her child had just gotten out of the foster system.
This could have been my kids. Like, my kids was gone for a minute where they was in somebody else's care, and this could happen to my kids.
Janae and the rest of the California City community continue to wait for answers as to what happened to the 2 boys.
If you ride up and down the boulevard, all you see is signs. Where these boys at? All you see, you go to the store, that's all you see.
As of Thursday, no arrests have been made and there is no update in the investigation according to the Cal City Police Department.